Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Star, Ron Russell.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. And we've got a fun, interesting show for you guys today. Before we get started, let me say hi to everybody. Let's start off with you, Chad, since Ron's kind of still getting ready. So what's up, Chad?
I feel like singing, I wear my sunglasses at night.
That's right, because he's got his on.
What did he do, just walk in from bathing outside by the pool?
No, he just walks in. Oh, well, he looks like he just came in from bathing outside from the pool because he's all tan and everything.
Right. Looking like some Miami Vice show or something going on around here.
I know. We're going to be like the new Miami Vice. Everybody in the chat room said Ron walked in late because he's combing his hair, and they love his hair. They love your hair.
I can't hear you, Ron, but everything's good down here in South Florida. What's going on, chat room?
There you go. Chat room is Phil. What's up? We got Irish Ginger in the chat room. B. Claudia from Germany. Pat, she's in Pat Grant. She runs the at Jimmy and Ron fans Twitter account. She's in Canada. We've got B. Claudia. We've got Goddess. Yay! What's up, Goddess? Hope you're doing well.
Did we pick out a gown yet?
No. Oh, I don't know.
Wedding gown? Wedding gown. White veil, because you're a virgin, right?
Here's my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
Hi.
Chad, I don't see any video on my
You just gave me a quick introduction and cut me off. You didn't give me a chance to even say hello to everybody. No, I did not come in from the pool. No, I was not playing with my hair.
Hey, Chad, how come I can't see the video at all?
Stand by.
Jimmy, I'm speaking. You are the most rudest human being I've ever met in my life. Why did I ever marry you?
Can't see anything.
Well, that's your problem. You're technically shit. But, you're cutting into my thing.
Take two.
Oh, I hate that. We have an expression in show business. Don't step on my lines.
Excuse me. Hold on. I'm checking the ITV, and it's working for me.
Good.
Okay, well, I don't even see a video screen or anything. I don't know what's up with that.
Refresh.
Who cares?
Refresh
How do I
your
fix
page.
it, Chad?
Refresh, maybe? I don't know.
Okay, I don't know if that's going to cut us off, though. Is it
Reload,
going to cut us
refresh,
off?
you know what I'm saying? Nah, don't cut
I
me
really
off.
want to go on a real network, a real television
Take me
show
with you,
where they
Ron.
have
This is terrible.
lights and cameras and directors and producers and makeup and hair. Like real world TV.
Yeah?
I think we got to do something, though, about this, because we got to be able to see when people call in, and we're not going to be able to see. We'll be talking all over them.
Be like radio.
So how about let's do this real quick. Chad, let's play a song and let me call you back. Don't play The FM's Eyes Are Suffering, and let me call you back.
I guess we could do that.
And see if we can at least see you, because I don't see the camera. I don't see anything.
This is strange. Stand by.
All right.
Be is strong. Apathy is gone. Resistance is strong. Apathy is gone. Resistance is strong. Apathy is gone. Eyes are suffering in the darkness. Eyes are suffering in the blackness. Heads are crippling in the rottenness. Hands are trembling, can't even feel them. Eyes are suffering through the darkness. Eyes are suffering through the darkness. Eyes are suffering through the darkness. Break their minds and let them see. Resistance is strong. Apathy is gone. Resistance is strong. Apathy is gone. Resistance.
All right, there you go, Jimbo.
I don't like. I cannot change.
All right, everybody. So now, Ron's gonna like talk for a minute, and then we're gonna have our guest come on in a minute.
What is this all about? We're having a nut house today.
Yes, we are.
Today is really fucking insane day. Every crazy son of a bitch is in the showroom all over the place. What is going on, folks? Let's pull it together and let's get a show going about my sunglasses.
About your sunglasses. So tell us about your sunglasses.
I'm going to tell you about my sunglasses. Palm Springs, California, where we live, have a lot of Please. Can I have the floor? Do I have it clear?
See, he doesn't know because we're not talking.
Am I cleared? I need to be cleared.
Chad, send him a message that we're going to call him at 3:15.
I need to clear this. We screwed up on the timing.
I think you're good.
Okay.
I really want to go to real TV. Anybody out there know how you can get us on like
I do. You have to
a major network?
Hashtag. We have to trend our hashtag. I'm working on it.
Oh, my God.
All right, go. Tell us about your glasses.
I'm wearing sunglasses, okay? And in Palm Springs, we have a lot of snobby queens here, and they all wear $1,000 designer sunglasses. So one bitch at a little thing we went to said to me, "Oh, why are you wearing those sunglasses? On the side it says State Farm, State Farm Insurance." Well, I turned to him and a few people listening, and I said, "Listen, baby. Gay Pride Parade in New York was sponsored by State Farm. They gave these glasses out. The least I could do is to advertise State Farm Insurance for supporting the GLBT community. What the fuck do you do wearing your Versace sunglasses? He's dead. All right? He's dead. So everybody out there, State Farm supports LGBT people, and it's written on the side of my sunglasses. And
they're rainbow colors.
And I don't need to wear designer sunglasses to show off like I could spend stupid money on a pair of plastic shit that's worth $3 and spend $1,000. So I'm not a moron like most of them that think it's so chic and fabulous. You know, like driving a Mercedes is like I'm rich. No, you're not rich. You just drive a Mercedes, and you don't eat all week long to pay for the Mercedes. So who are you kidding? Please, the richest people I know. I mean, when I drove Cliff Robertson, the Academy Award-winning actor, up to the Hilton house, yes, Conrad Hilton's mansion, his car broke down that he loaned Cliff Robertson. It was an old Mercedes. Rich people don't look rich. Rich people look poor. It's poor people that try to look rich. So there you go. If you don't like my sunglasses, TUF.
Actually, Eileen says everybody's jealous of those glasses because everybody wants them.
No, I know that, but I get insulted because people say to me, "Oh, you're wearing those sunglasses? They're not designer." Get over yourself, designer. My ass, I'm 130 years old. I wore designer Gucci's when I was 20, 30, whatever. You know, you grow up, you're past that stupid nonsense of showing off designer crap, wearing designer labels so that people think you're important and rich, when in fact you're not. I don't know one movie star that I know wears a Gucci bag. They gave them all to their maids. Now the maids walk around with the Gucci bags. So there you go, snobby things.
We got a lot more people who jumped up into the chat room. Dave from Stars Now UK, his Twitter is in the chat room. And Hannah Clive has joined us in the chat room. And it goes by too fast. I know we already said hi to Goddess, so we want to say hi to Goddess again.
If you're admiring my gorgeous shirt, it's a Jimmy Star. One of Jimmy's. See the label, Jimmy Star? It's one that he designed and one of my favorites because it's got this wonderful flower garden in the middle. And then it's got this fabulous plaid on the shoulders. And I think it's a beautiful shirt. $120.
But they're on eBay.
Yeah, but I didn't pay that. I went in the warehouse one day and I said, I like this, I like that, I like this, I like that. I took about 20 pair of the Jimmy Star shoes. I took about 40 shirts. I said, you know, I need shirts for the TV show. I cleaned out the warehouse practically. But I like his designs. They're fun.
Should I ever thought about designing sunglasses? That they think I should design sunglasses.
No, I like wearing State Farm because they gave couple of $1 million to the Gay Pride Parade in New York last year. Come on, folks. We need more people like that to support
Everybody
us.
likes the shirt, though.
The shirt's beautiful. I was thinking of sending it to Donald Trump, but it wouldn't fit. Fit his leg, maybe, but that's about it.
Yeah. Chad, what's it like in Florida?
It's
We're going to
wet.
be 92 today.
It's
Gorgeous.
wet. It's
92.
soggy. The lakes are coming back up. The canals are coming back up. The grass is greener. It's starting to get muggy, but yeah, it's been basically soggy for the last 3 days.
New York has had tornadoes and hurricane winds and rain. Everybody in New York is screaming and fainting,
Really?
and they all, they hate me. They say, "Oh, you got out of town just in time before the snow and the tornadoes and the rain." I said, "Well, I'm not stupid, you know. I lived in New York most of my life. I know what crappy weather it has. And when you get to be my age, 28, 29, 30, you can't take that weather anymore. It just goes through your bones. It hurts you. It makes you pee a lot, too."
Hannah Clive says she's been at a beautiful 16th century converted English country barn all afternoon down in the countryside editing a new music video. Hopefully that's yours, Hannah.
That sounds fun.
Sounds beautiful.
And Goddess wants stuff with skulls.
Oh, of course she does. I'm going to make your wedding gown. Jimmy will design your wedding gown, all skulls.
You gotta love it.
Penises and skulls he'll put on them. Big penises, huge penises, and skulls. Goddess would like that. A penis wedding gown, right? Goddess, I love you, my puppy. How come you don't?
Eileen says they had a tornado.
Of course they did. And if it wasn't for Eileen's, gigantic bust, she would have been up there with Dorothy, flying, da 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 da. But her knockers are so heavy they held her on the earth. In fact, about 7 people were hanging on her for the dear lives. They knew that the tornado could never lift those cannons. Never.
So she was
never.
she was safe.
And a couple of people, a whole family took shelter under one of her breasts from the rain. They cuddled. They did. They hovered and cuddled under her right breast. And when a building came down, it hit her in the breast, and the family was saved. So Eileen is kind of a superhero.
Thanks,
So
Eileen.
Chad,
Yes.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
So when we're calling our guest all those times that it kept hanging up, was that because of us or because of him?
We were trying to get rid, and he kept calling back.
Oh,
I
okay.
was never trying to get rid of the guests.
But
It's
I
just-
wasn't deleting. I
we
wasn't
don't
hanging
get-
up on
We
him.
don't get rid of our guests. It's just that
Excuse my
the
term.
this show has sort of a rhythm to it that we've agreed on, Jimmy and I. I open with my little stories about what's going on because that's an ear catcher. Everybody's a yenta and a gossiper, and everybody likes to hear shit. So I give the show a little bit of jazz. I give them something to think about and something to be interested in. Then if the show is boring with a crappy guest, I'm forgiven. But if but our guests are all good. We really have only had 2 crappy guests on in 5 years, which is a wonderful record.
Which two?
Isn't it really? I mean,
Oh, Chad said which two?
you know something? If you said $1 million, Ron, right now, in
He
your
couldn't
hand,
tell you who
I
they
couldn't
were.
tell you who they were. I know one was a woman and one was a man. That's
About
all
2
I know.
million. 3? 2?
I really don't. If I love you, it's difficult to remember your name. Like Eileen Shapiro. I love her to pieces. She's like my dearest friend. Sometimes I forget her name, so I call her knockers or sandbags. I say, hey, sandbags, or hey, knockers, or titty girl.
What's the lady from Germany's name that we talk to every week, and she writes so nice on your Facebook
I love
page?
her, B.
Oh, you knew B. B. That is such a compliment that he knew you.
Because I love her. Because I love her. She is the most eloquent, elegant lady from a generation that has gone by.
Oh, we
and
have to
is
call our
dead.
guest. Okay, hold on, real quick. What's the name of the lady who runs our fan club Twitter?
I have no idea.
Patricia.
I didn't even know
Pat.
I didn't even know we had one.
Yes, you did. We talked about it we talk about it every week.
Jimmy, when you get to be my age, I hope, and I'll be dead and buried in ashes, I hope you remember Jesus, I really felt bad, the things I said to Ron. Something happens when you're approaching 78.
So say hi to Pat. She runs your...
Pat, I'm sorry I don't know who you are. But what can I tell you? You know, I don't know who I am sometimes. Like one time I was introducing myself and I said to the person, oh my God, what the fuck is my name? I don't remember my name. So, you know, when you lose...
She's happy. She lives in Canada and today's one of the first days it's not snowing.
Oh, I'm so happy. Put on a bikini and go out and lay in the sun.
So, Chad, let's call our guest.
All right.
Let's go ahead and call him. Maybe we don't even do the music thing in case we have a problem so we can just do it. Let's just call him.
We never get rid of guests. Don't ever say that. It's not true. I'd like to get rid of those two bitches that were on, but I couldn't. I think I walked off the set with one of them. They were so mean. I wouldn't even deal with them.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You gotta love it all. What are you gonna do?
Hello, Steve. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, Steve. Hit the little video button. We'll be ready to rock and roll. Yay!
And maybe turn the camera sideways to get
Can you
a
turn the camera
widescreen.
sideways?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
You, bro.
Wow, that's
Bro.
perfect.
Now you could be in the movies.
Yeah, it looks kind of movie.
He already is in the movies.
Yeah. Well,
Look,
you're my Facebook
Oh, the
friend.
crowd.
Oh, look at that. That's nice.
What is that?
Dogs.
It's a dog. It's
Oh,
a,
I thought
What
it was
is
that
that?
sheepskin.
what
Throw
what
brother.
kind of? Oh, two dogs. He's got two dogs. What kind of dog is the white? Oh, three dogs.
Three dogs.
We have two. What kind of dog is the white dog?
The white dog is a Bichon.
Love it. I
A
love
rescue.
rules.
A rescue.
How did you rescue a
Both of our
Bichon?
dogs are
I
rescues
threw in a
too.
lifesaver. What do you mean? I went to the pound.
No, but those dogs are thousands of dollars. Who gives them away? They usually sell them.
They this one ran away and was in the street. So
Oh, okay. So nobody knows where it was.
yeah, so nobody knows where it was.
We have two
Oh.
rescues also, so we like that. So hold on, let me do an introduction.
Did you fish around to see if you could find the people that lost that dog?
It was from the pound. So
Oh, they have no.
it had been there for 2 weeks.
Oh,
That's very good. We love it when
I'm
people
happy
rescue
that
dogs.
You rescued those dogs. Good for you.
All right, hold on. Let's do an introduction. All right, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the incredibly talented writer, producer, Oh wait, I'm on the wrong one. We got to start over.
Take two.
I'm telling you, today,
It's been a day.
today, Jimmy, just go to bed. Go to bed.
I am having a day. Let me tell you. All right, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell.
A producer, director, actor,
No, he's
female
not any of
impersonator,
those.
astronaut.
He's not any of those. I messed it up. That was Stan Zimmerman's last week.
Oh.
All right, everybody. Here we go. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show the incredibly talented comedian, playwright, and author, Mr. Steve Bluestein. Hello and welcome to the show.
Thank you and welcome. Welcome to my home.
As we say in French, oy vey.
Let me
I mean,
introduce you to
really.
everybody. So you know Ron since you're friends on Facebook, but
Yes.
this is my cool, outrageous man about
And he
town
knows how
co-host.
crazy I am.
Mr.
The crap
Ron
I write,
Russell.
all that stuff I write is crazy.
It's okay, so say hi.
I'm not going to say hi. I know him already. What can I say?
Then we got the man behind the boards, Mr. Chad Murphy. He's in Florida.
Steve, welcome. Thanks for letting us in your home.
Thank you.
Happy you let us see your dogs because you made my... Is my foot showing? I just put my leg up on the sofa. I don't have shoes on. Fuck everybody. I'm comfortable.
Hold on, we're not done. We got a chat room full of people, and literally we have we have Canada, the UK, we have Germany, we have Estonia, we have France, we have Australia. We got all the countries, so just say hi to everybody in the chat room.
I
Steve?
think he died.
Steve,
He did.
and he's not.
Steve,
He's frozen
I
in
think-
time. We got a Disney.
Oh,
Connection.
There you go.
oh, I thought he passed away.
Steve's back.
It looked like it.
The
Your head
screen
was
froze, and it looked like you were just laying there
Your head
meditating.
was laying back and you weren't moving. I said, oh my God, he died.
Taking a nap.
Well, it says poor network connection. I don't know how I can improve.
Go close to the router, Steve. Close
You
to
have
the
to
router.
take. You have to.
Get
You have
close
his,
to the router.
I guess.
I'll have to go. I'll have to take you to my whole house.
Oh,
No,
cool.
when
Okay.
you,
Tour.
listen. When you get close to the router, take down your pants and rub your feet against the router. That makes it work better.
You pervert.
He is.
Call me.
All
We
right.
are one
All
of
right.
many things that you could call him. What a big house. You have a beautiful house.
Yeah.
Well, you see the ceiling.
High ceilings.
Very low. Bel Air.
Okay, he's in Bel Air.
Oh, that slum.
Yeah, I live in the slums of Bel Air.
I know a lot of people that live in that slum of Bel Air.
Oh yeah.
You gotta love
Nancy
it.
Reagan used to live above me on the ridge. And when she died, this place was a nightmare.
Oh,
That's because she died and rolled down the hill into the street, and that was in your front yard.
it's a mess.
Her body laid there for days. They didn't know what it was. It started to smell. And they went out and they said, "Oh my God, Nancy Reagan died. Here she is," and they took her away. But anyway, so you're Jewish. You love that?
A nice smooth segue.
You're a nice.
We don't do anything.
Nice nice Jewish boy living in Bel Air. What else is there? As I said, I had very dear friends in Bel Air near Zsa Zsa Gabor's house. They lived right down from it, and they were from Transylvania. And his name was, he's a famous artist, a wonderful artist. They were from Canada.
He's not going to remember the
Her
name.
Yes, I will.
Oh, you will?
I have his. He did a drawing of me. It's worth a fortune. His wife's name was Viola, and his name was Andre Saz.
Andre
Saz. And they were very famous in Bel Air. I went to many parties of theirs. And Bel Air's very cute. It's nice. Little cottages, cute, like 1.5 bedrooms, 1 bath. But the toilets are in the yard.
Like half the people around the world have no idea that Bel Air's where all the mansions are. So
No. Bel Air, they have the little toilet out in the yard with a path you walk to go to the bathroom. They're cute little bungalows.
I could listen to you talk all day long.
And listen to you. You're sounding just like me. I love it.
My God, the accent is to die for.
I know. I sound like a Brooklyn Jew, but what can I tell you? I am.
Actually, too, though, you guys have, because Steve does a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to talk about your new book, so don't worry. We'll get it in there after we talk about it.
Get the book in.
Yeah, we will definitely get it in.
We'll get it in.
But he actually opened for Lainey Kazan in concert.
Oh,
and you're friends with Lainey Kazan.
Of course I'm friends with my Lainala. What are you kidding?
So you did comedy, though, right? She sang and you did comedy?
What do you think? Can you see me?
Oh, now we're shooting.
Now we see your ceiling.
Leave the fucking camera alone.
I'm not.
Now you're upside down, you busy bitch.
No, it's on your screen. Just reverse your camera. There you go.
Hold it.
It's the altitude in Bel Air. They get nuts.
There.
They did it
Oh,
again.
now we see your television.
Oh, how interesting is that?
That's. How do I make this thing turn around?
On your screen, tap the reverse.
Oh, on your screen, hit the little button. It'll flip it around the other way.
I can't believe that you touched it.
Ta-da.
There you go.
Oh my God, I look like crap.
That's okay. Sit on your hands.
But I don't.
Sit on your hands.
He's got to hold the phone.
And he's on the phone?
Yeah, he's on his
All right,
phone.
Why are you on your phone?
Because we couldn't get it to work on his computer, so we're working on
I got
his phone.
news for you. I never go on the phone. You look ugly on phones. You know that?
You look great, Steve.
No, people
Look
want to,
fine.
what do you call, face me or Facebook?
FaceTime. Oh, that's
FaceTime.
different, though. FaceTime's different.
No, I say, frig you. I don't FaceTime. I look my age.
Steve, do you ever FaceTime anybody, Steve?
All the time.
There you go. And you look fabulous.
No,
Don't
no,
listen.
No, not sit on their face. FaceTime.
Yeah.
All right.
You gotta love it. So okay. So no, I knew you would do comedy.
Quiet.
First,
So tell me about Lainey Kazan. I love her. She's a very good friend of mine.
Lainey is a doll, and she did a reading for us for one of my plays called Rest in Pieces in New York City, and she was amazing, to a standing ovation. And then I toured with her for a couple of cities, and I've known Lainey forever. But I tell Lainey this, and she hates when I say it, but she performed at my college graduation party.
Well, she went to Hofstra.
She went to Hofstra. I went to Emerson, but she was performing at a club in Framingham, and when we had our graduation from college, we all went there. God,
Lainey's 13 days older than I am.
Oh, really?
I'll be 78 in 12 days. And Lainey was birthday yesterday. Was her birthday.
Oh.
I invited her to the house in Palm Springs. You have to invite her for the weekend and give her a room, otherwise she doesn't come. And I said I'm gonna cook her a lasagna for herself, just one lasagna for like a 12-pound lasagna for her. And she'll come out.
Finished it.
Yeah, well, no, she'll come in the winter. She won't come now because she can't deal with heat. She was appearing in Florida, and we went to see her to say hi. Perry Winkler and Perry used to manage her years ago. Anyway, Lainey was fainting, and I'm schwitzing, I'm dying already. Put the egg, what's happening? I can't breathe. And they opened the doors, and a bunch of people rushed in for autographs and stuff. And Lainey turned around, and she said, I can't do this. I can't. And she turned around and ran away, went in her dressing room, sat down. She was fanning herself. I said, Lainey, it's not even hot. She said, I'm dying. This fucking Florida.
Florida. I hate Florida.
Everybody hates Florida.
We moved from Florida to New York to Florida. I mean, to here.
First of all, Florida's too Jewish and it's too hot.
You know what I said when I was in Boca?
That's where I lived.
I said the people were so old there that the Container Store sold caskets.
That's not nice. I lived in Boca.
I like that.
But I had a good crew of people. Everybody was from Brooklyn. All my Bocarettes were all from Brooklyn, and they were all glamour Jews. You know, the nails, the tennis bracelets, the Rolex watches, the big hairdos, the gorgeous clothes, the fabulous houses, the beautiful cars, the fabulous parties they threw in Boca. They fed you. They actually fed you food, which is something they don't do too much in California. So
we'll give you granola. We'll give you granola.
No, I love my Boca people. I love my people.
Actually, hold on though. Let's go back to that. So your play, she did a reading for your play, Rest in Pieces. First of all, you guys, Steve's got a website at stevebluestein.net. So make sure you go to .net and not .com, and you can follow him on Twitter at Steve Bluestein. And I read on your website that your play that you were just talking about, Rest in Pieces, got optioned for Broadway, and that you also did a reading with Olympia Dukakis and
I love her.
And Louis Zorich.
I love her.
Louis Zorich. I got to tell you, of all the things I've done, that play is the thing I'm the most proud of. Not as proud as my new book, Memoir of a Nobody, but I'm very proud of that play.
We're going to get to the book. Don't stop. Don't start.
Don't
start with me.
Because if you start with me, I'll give you the finger.
God. I have such a hard time with one of them. Now I've got two of them.
If you start with me, I'll put a Kinahara on your book, and you shouldn't live tomorrow.
Oh, stop. I'm telling you right now.
I'm telling you, darling, you shouldn't do it already. Now listen to me. Listen.
Wait, that was all. Let's go.
Listen.
This is great.
Listen.
You don't know what you're going to open, the can of worms you're going to open.
Now listen to me. I like you. I want to hang out with you, and I'm inviting you to my next party.
What is that, a threat?
Well, we sacrifice a Jew every time they come, and this is your turn. They sacrificed me. I got sacrificed.
He said, he has a home in Palm Springs.
I know that.
One of the talents of a talk show host is learning to listen. You need to learn to listen.
No, we never do that.
No, this is not a talk show.
Never.
This is a conversation.
No,
show.
it's not. It's a conversation.
It's an argument.
All right,
But if
yeah,
I don't do what, listen, darling, if I don't do what I do,
I'm going to kill myself. I
Good.
have a place in Palm Springs, and I'm going to be moving there permanently.
Oh, cool.
Good. We'll have that place fumigated. Now listen to me and smack you in the fucking living room. Now listen to me.
Do I have a choice?
No. We have a conversation show. I bring out the insanity in you to make our show the #1 show that it is in the world. This is the #1 show you're on. 4.5 million people are looking at your punum right now.
What's a punum?
His wang.
Oh.
No, his punum is his face.
Punum means face.
It's
Okay.
face.
2 nose jobs, 1 chin implant. Go ahead.
Jewish. What else is new? I mean, come on. I'm the only Jew that never had a nose job.
You're not Jewish.
I certainly am.
Well, you act like one, but you're not.
I am. My father's side, we have a tremendous Jewish history.
So hold on. Okay, so let's talk. So you do a whole bunch of different things. You're having great success right now. You do have a new book. I went on IMDb to Google you to see, like back in the day, are you the same guy who made like a couple movies, and you were also the comedian on the Alan Thicke Show, Michael Douglas, Jim Neighbors, American Bandstand and stuff? So
That's
you should
me.
put that in. You should put that in your bio too, because that's very impressive.
You on American?
It's not impressive. It's really not. It's long time ago. Nobody cares. It's show business. What did you do on Friday? That's all I care about.
That's true about that. I'll give you that too. That they care about that one
You
too.
look good for 80.
Dr. Michael Cherukian in Beverly Hills. 2 chairs, no waiting.
You gotta love
you are
it.
definitely coming to our
So you
next
guys
party.
gotta check it out too. If you go to SteveBluestein.net, he's got like videos of him comedy performances. He's done stuff with a lot of really, really cool people. He's got 2 books, even though one of them is just brand new. But he has another book.
I've got 3 books actually.
Oh, I only saw 2 when I went to your Amazon.
Well, the new one hasn't come out yet. It's called "Take My Prostate, Please."
Okay. So he's got a book, you guys, that came out a while ago called 49 and a Half Shades of Bluestein.
Right.
Then he's got a brand new book that just came out, which, if you follow at Steve Bluestein on Twitter, and you see it has 17 5-star reviews on Amazon already, and it is called Memoirs of a Nobody. There you go.
I love it.
Okay, so
Memoir
tell us
of a Nobody.
tell us a little bit about the book.
Well, it started out that I wanted to just document my history in show business because, I opened for Donna Summer, I opened for Barry Manilow, I opened for Kenny Loggins, Frankie Valli, Gloria Gaynor, Seals and Crofts. I mean, I've opened for a lot of people in Vegas. And I thought, what?
Opened for a lot of guys in Palm Springs, too.
I don't think so. So don't start with me. I'm telling you right now.
Me. I
Oh,
love
here we
you
go.
My
so much.
mother's buried in Boca. You want to join her?
I love you.
My mother's buried in Boca.
my new best
father's
friend.
in Boston. I'm in California. Can you imagine? So anyway, I started writing the book because I wanted to write it before I became too old to remember the things that happened. So I started writing them, and as I was writing them, childhood memories would come up, and I would write about them, and then I would write about things that were happening at that very moment in my life, and it became a series of essays and short stories that string together into a book. And people are telling me that they're laughing hysterically and also crying because there are many sad things about people who I've lost in my life and my dogs that I found that I've lost, and it touches people, and it's the most rewarding thing I've ever done. Seriously, I just am thrilled that it's been received so well, and in the first week it was in the bestseller list.
Congratulations.
Well, that's because if you write the way you are, it's got to be a funny book because you're a really funny guy. And I just said to Jimmy, you're my new best friend. And if not, my father was an Italian Jew, okay? Our family history is very Jewish. But during one of the wars, they went Catholic so not to be killed. And I've told the story before.
You know what I say about Catholics? When a Jew goes bad, you can always fix him. But when a Catholic goes bad, they go bad in ways that are so crazy. You just put him to sleep because you can't bring him back.
No, but my father never, ever let me be a Catholic. That was my mother's doing and my grandmother. My father never, I was not allowed to go to church. I was never made my communion, confirmation, any of that. My father was so anti that. And I've told this story before. My father said that not to circumcise me because if Hitler wins the war, I could be killed. So if you are cut, you didn't die because that means you were not a Jew. So that's what Jewish people were doing.
That's why so many people had foreskin transplants.
Nice.
You are bad. But anyway,
that was good.
well, it's
Very
good.
good
It's
and
good,
bad.
but it's a very sensitive subject. It's a sense anyway. So that's how the Nazis knew if you were Jewish, they'd make you pull your pants down in the street, and if you were cut,
That happens in West Hollywood all the time.
no, he doesn't stop. This one doesn't.
That's
stop.
good. Neither do you, so it's perfect.
I love you. You are coming to the next big dinner party. We have all celebrities. We don't invite audience. It's strictly
No,
celebrity.
do you know what Ron said to me when we were first talking about doing the show? He says, we have a lot of big names on the show, and you.
Jimmy said that. Not
Oh, that
Ron.
was me. I said
I'm
that.
Ron.
Jimmy
And you.
Jimmy said it, yeah.
Jimmy's the old one. I'm the young one. I'm
Yeah.
Ron.
Hey, I'm not friends
A
with
lot
you
of
on
big names,
Facebook, so
and you.
Well, you
I
found,
didn't actually say it like that,
no,
though,
he,
exactly.
He found me on Facebook, and he's private messaged me and told me who he was. And after a little investigation, I said, Jimmy, I've got somebody I really want to come on the show. I think it's going to be terrific. And you know what? No smoke up your ass, but you're better than terrific. I mean,
Oh,
I could
thank
have,
you.
if I had guests like you every week, I'd want to come to work. I really would.
Oh, that's great. Well,
You're funny.
You can
You're
invite
funny.
me back every week. It's not like I'm working now.
No, but you're funny, and you know what? I don't buy things, so send me a free book and sign it.
I don't have any books here in the house. My agent has to buy them.
Well, tell your agent to send me a free one, and we'll put it up, and we'll push it for you weekly.
Yeah, you know what, too? You have to follow me. If you follow me back on Twitter, I'll follow you on Twitter, and follow me back. I'll go and retweet like all your stuff for you because I have a million followers.
I'll actually read your book because a lot of people come on, they want me to read the book, and I don't because who has time to read a book, you know, in my busy life. But your book, I think I'm going to read because I think I'm going to chuckle on every other page.
Well, I think you're right. I think that, you know, here's the interesting thing. After I've read the book 159 times, I'm reading it and I'm going, this is not funny. I don't understand what people, and then people write me and they say, I can't stop laughing. And it's just that I'm too close to it anymore. So I've lost objectivity. But if somebody will email me your address, I will have my agent send you a book.
Yes, Jimmy.
I will do it.
I don't do the techniques. I'm the star.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, listen, but most comedians came out of Brooklyn. And
Yeah.
most comedians were Jewish out of Brooklyn. Look, I mean, I could name them for hours. Jewish people have a
That would
sense
be
of
an interesting show.
wait. Jewish people have a sense of humor that most don't have. Bob Hope, all those waspy guys had a political sense of humor. But Jewish people deal with what is really painful, and they turn it around and make it funny.
Well,
That's why.
Let me tell you something. I have a Russian travel agent, and we were talking one day, and I said to him, you know, my family's from Russia. And he said to me, where? I said, Odessa. And he said to me, then you must have a good sense of humor. And I
What?
said, why? He said, because Odessans are known for their sense of humor, and they have a comedy festival that goes back hundreds of years. And I had no idea. I said to him, do you know what I do for a living? He said, no, what? I said, I'm a comedian and a comedy writer. And he said, well, of course you are. You're from Odessa.
So it's a gene thing.
It's genes. I have a theory, and I've said this before. I have a theory. There are two kinds of comedians. There's the comedian who's intrinsically funny. And the example I give of that is David Brenner. David Brenner was walking down the street in New York. A manhole blew up in front of him. It went flying into the air. And David looked at it and went, heads. That's
That's so New York. You know, that's another thing. You have to be from New York to be funny. I find Midwesterners are not that funny because what do they talk about? No, they talk about cows and you know.
Wait, who are some
whatever.
as a comedian? Since you work with all these like great people, like who are some of the comedians who you think are really funny?
Today,
Yeah.
I love Howie Mandel. I love Paula Poundstone. I love Kathy Ladman. I love. That's it.
Okay.
No,
So like you don't like I like Louis Black. I don't know why. I mean, he does the same thing over and over again, but I just find him funny. And I like Jim Gaffigan. And
See, that's a different generation. I'm a generation behind. Behind them. They came in after me.
right.
well, I don't know any of the young ones, but the old ones I know, and I love them
Well,
all.
the young ones are not even worth. 90% of them are not even worth your time to go see them. It's
Right.
They talk about one thing, and that's their dick, and that's it. And they all sound exactly the same.
Absolutely.
They all have because they're learning from each other.
Absolutely.
When we came up, we were learning from people who were in vaudeville and who did movies and were on early television in the 50s. They had a basis, and we learned from them. These kids today, what they're
Right.
learning from are each other. And so they all sound exactly the same. They all talk about the same thing, and they deliver like it should be funny. They look like they should be funny, but they're not.
Well,
funny.
the audiences think they're funny because they don't know from the real thing. Now, when I became a stand-up comic for 46 years in drag, I learned from Paul Lynn, who was a friend of mine. I learned from Sandra Bernhardt, from all these people that had a very weird kind.
Wait, is Sandra Bernhardt a drag queen?
No. But neither is Lenny Bruce. But I used to go see Lenny Bruce whenever I could. Lenny Bruce was hysterical in a crazy way. I mean, what about Belle Barth? I love Belle Barth.
What about Rusty Warren?
Okay, getting, boffed in a gondola, Belle Barth's famous thing. Or I hate to see my youngest son go down.
Wait,
Things like that were so wonderful back in those days because they were double entendre. They weren't outright vulgar. They were funny in a very, very...
now I can't think of it. Like, do you watch television at all?
What do you think? I sit here knitting?
No, a lot of people don't. Like, we have like musicians
that's New
on
York
and all they do.
sarcastic humor. See, that's a New York sarcastic
No, there's
humor.
a TV show. I forgot the name of it. It's on Amazon Prime, and it's about the young lady who was married and she wants to be a comedian, and she won.
That's a brilliant show.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
That's why I just wanted to know if you
love
like that.
Show.
I do
love
also.
that show. And I don't like I'm Dying Up Here, which is a show about comedy in the 70s, because I said to a friend, that show has relevance to what was happening in the 70s, like I have relevance to Swan Lake. There's nothing in that show that I like.
Well, everything has changed. Now, I'm 78 years old in 2 weeks, okay? 50 years ago, the world was entirely different than now. I mean, I had audiences in those days that loved you and respected you and came to see you with great enthusiasm. Today, the audiences sort of want to be in your show with you.
Right. Exactly.
They get
Everybody thinks they're a comedian. My cleaning woman can do 10 minutes.
Right. It's true. No, it's true. The audiences today get angry because they look at you up there and they say, "Oh, I could do that. Who the frig is he?
Yeah.
Who does he think he is? He's not even funny. I could do better." And they can't. There's something about people today on Facebook where I met you, okay? Now, go with me. You write you just won the lottery, $50 million, and you had a facelift and you look 20. One like. Now, say you were in an auto accident and your face was scarred to pieces, you lost an arm and your dick fell off, you get 1,000 likes. So why is it Facebook, they only like the negative? They will not. Jimmy just won the best publicist of the year, okay, in the country, the best publicist, and he got 4 likes on my page. 4 friggin' likes.
And when my dog died, I got like 600.
I mean, tell me about those Facebook jerks.
Well, we all have a different experience. I put, you know who Peter Foley is, the comedian out of Florida.
I think I know the name, Peter Foley.
Well, it drives him crazy. One day, I put a picture of my burnt toast on Facebook, and got like 600 likes.
That's right.
And he called me and he said, "I can't believe you got 600 likes for burnt toast." I said, "Well, I guess my burnt toast is just funnier than yours. I don't know."
No, I mean, it's just so sad that we don't even go by that anymore. We go by our fans, how many fans you have in your fan belt, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
If it weren't for the fans, you wouldn't know if you were good or bad. Years ago, you knew if you were good. You knew because you had support
because you
from
heard
others.
it instantly. That's that's the interesting thing about my book, Memoir of a Nobody, available on Amazon.com. That when I would stand on stage, I would say a joke and I'd get an instant response, so I knew how I was doing. With the book, you put it out there, you don't know for 6 months or a year if anybody's laughing. So it's really interesting. It's also interesting that I never thought that I could write something and have someone laugh at it. I thought that I had to say it to make it funny. And I'm learning that I actually was getting in the way of the comedy, so that people are reading it and they're laughing at stuff that I thought was a setup.
Yeah, well, you see, that comes with training. I write about Liz Lauren. Liz Lauren is a drag queen that my friend Janae Montague King, the owner of GMK Cosmetic line, he's like a phenomenal guy. And he does drag as well. And he's a beautiful drag queen with the most gorgeous gowns designed by Fedor. So I, every day, write another joke about Liz Lauren. And I know it's funny because I write funny. Why am I getting an echo?
I don't know. That's
Echo.
Chad.
Anyway, you do know when you write funny. Didn't you write your own material when you did stand-up?
Of course.
So then there you go. You were writing and you got the laugh. So you knew what was funny and what wasn't.
Well, you know, you're right, but you never really know what's funny until you.
I think you're hysterical. So I wouldn't. I'm going to argue with you because I think you're crazy. You are funny, no matter what you say. And I'm sure when I read your book, I'm going to give it a wonderful review as being hilariously funny, because whether you're from New York or not, but you have that New York mentality, that New York wit, that New York timing, which only old New Yorkers have, not the young shit that's there from Ohio and from Kansas. They went because they saw Sex in the City and they were going to go and wear $1,000 bags and never go to work, you know, like they did in Sex in the City.
Hang on, I have to interrupt real quick because everybody in the chat, we have people from all over. So is your book available on Amazon everywhere? Like, because there's people in Germany asking about it.
Yes, it's available and it's all over the world. But you have to go to I think it's Amazon.ga or G whatever.
No, they'll figure it out. They'll be able to figure
Now,
that
is
out.
your book in different languages?
No.
Okay.
You guys, it's called Memoirs of a Nobody and Memoir. I'm sorry, Memoir of a Nobody. And the author is Steve Bluestein, who's on the show right now. It's Bluestein, so you can
Who
find
is
it.
hysterical, I must tell you. And you know I never say that about too many people.
I know you never say that.
I mean, some people think they're funny.
Oh,
and
I'm dying here. I'm dying from
No.
the happiness.
No, some
I am
people.
so happy.
You know,
I'm just my dogs are licking themselves. So happy.
I just do that all the time. So you have another book. Just tell us a little bit about the other book.
Wait a minute. You're full of crap because you know you're funny and you know everybody likes to be around you because you're so entertaining. So cut the shit. In English. Don't play that little demure boy, the little boy. Look at me, I'm a little boy.
That looks good.
I'm an innocent little boy that wrote a little book that may not be funny. Meanwhile, it's a scream a minute, and he's so full of crap. I want to beat the shit out of him when I see him.
So tell us a little bit about
Not
the one about the.
dinner and a movie first.
Tell us the one about the prostate.
Just to bring up Paul over the show right now, I had prostate cancer last October, and I had my prostate removed. And I started documenting what was happening with the doctors, you know, and like, for instance, the nurse would call and say, can you come in on the 14th? And I'd say, sure, I come in on the 14th. And 3 days later, she'd call back and say, he's not here on the 14th. Can you come in on the 17th? I said, sure, I can come in on the 17th. And a week later, she'd call back and I'd say, he's not here on the 17th. Can you come in on the 24th? And I said to her, come on, you can tell me. He has a second job, right? He's delivering pizzas for Domino's. I said,
Domino's.
some days he's got to be practicing medicine. Why can't I get one of those days?
What did she say to the bitch?
She said, well, let me see what I can do. You know, so I finally got to see him, you know, and I didn't want to leave. I didn't know when I was going to see him again.
Well, you know what you should have done when you met him? You should have started to sing, oh, I just lost it. See, when you get old, you lose the button.
Yeah.
I didn't hit the button. Seems like a mighty long time.
Listen, my other doctor has, can I swear?
Yes.
Do whatever you could.
As a
naked.
bitch. When I tell you a bitch answering his phone, this woman was a guard at Auschwitz. I swear to God. So she makes me. I make an appointment for 10:30 in the morning. Now, who is more anal than me? I mean, I put it in my iPhone, 10:30 in the morning. So the night before the appointment, I get an email from her confirming my 12:30 appointment. So I call her back and I said, no, my appointment's at 10:30. She says, no, it's not. I made it for you at 12:30. I said, no, you made it for me at 10:30. She says, no, you're wrong. And I said to her, how many appointments do you make in a day? She said, at least 50. I said, I make one. Who do you think made a mistake? So she hung up on me.
He would have done that too.
I would have said, I would have given him a
He would
couple
have
of.
been, yeah. He
Oh,
would have,
I would have said, to her, honey, quit this job. Go back to being a hooker. You were good at
Right.
that.
So when I finally got to see the doctor, he came in and we were, we had the whole examination, and he said, okay, I want to see you in 6 months. And I said, you want to talk? He said to me, I was waiting for that. I said, what prison program did you get this bitch from? And he said, you're right. She fights with everybody. I said, will she be here in 6 months? Probably not. Okay, I'll see you in 6 months.
In 6 months. No, I've had some nasty nurses in my day taking care of doctors' offices. And you do have to get a little firm, like say to her, listen, tramp, if you don't give me this appointment, don't go outside. Don't try to start your car.
Yeah,
Take a bus. Learn how to walk on your knees because your shins are getting broken on the sidewalk. You got to do a little bit of that.
you should see him. We go to the doctor, and he couldn't get in one day at the doctor, and they wouldn't see him, and he's standing there talking to the lady saying, I don't feel good. All of a sudden, because he's a really good actor, he just passes out and falls down on the floor, and then they had to see him.
Well, any port in a storm, I always say.
Yeah, right. You have to be inventive. But when I was in the hospital, I said to one doctor, I said, more people have touched my dick in the last 2 days than in the entire 1960s decade when I was living in New York. I said, people come in. I don't even know who I think the cleaning woman touched it yesterday.
They lift the sheet and take a peek.
They lift the sheet. They take a look. They poke. One nurse came in and he said, I'm sorry, Eileen. We got to lubricate your penis. Oh. So I said, oh, fine. I'm just out of surgery. So he's got my thing in his hand and he's putting KY jelly on it. And I said to him, I usually get a movie and dinner first for this. And he laughed. This guy laughed for 15 minutes. Oh, just so funny. How come you're just so funny out of surgery?
Well, I had, when you get a male checkup, they do squeeze it and all that crap. And my doctor, who I really like a lot, I said, well, now that you've done that and you've felt me, we should really get married and start a family. Can I have children? And it was on and on. But a friend of mine, when I lived in New York, worked in Jamaica, Queens for the hospital. Cary Grant was on the Long Island Expressway, and a truck's wheel blew off, and it went right into the car that Cary Grant was in, and it smashed him in the face. So they took him to the emergency at the Jamaica hospital where my friend worked. And he said, this is a story. He tells me that everybody would go in to see Cary Grant, and they'd lift a sheet. I mean, his nose broke, not his dick. But people started to do that. And great Cary Grant said that one day to somebody. He said, it's amazing how people associate my nose with my penis because they all came in to see that. Wouldn't you?
I was right. I wrote the Brady Bunch Variety Hour. Please don't. I'm fine. And and Milton Berle was.
I knew Milton well.
Milton Berle was on the show. And we're sitting around the table. We're doing a table read. Bruce Valanche was one of the other writers. And so Milton Berle, in the middle of the reading, says, excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom. And it was like, beat. And Bruce says, do you want to go in or should I?
I don't get it. I lost
because Milton Berle was supposed to have a huge
I know Milton Berle. I was 17 years old, and I used to hang out in a restaurant on 3rd Avenue in New York called the Mayfair or the Mayflower, one of the two. It was a theatrical hangout for all Broadway people, and if you wanted to be in show business. And I was good friends with Martha Ray, because Martha Ray's brother was gay. And Martha was a wonderful woman, and Milton Berle was very good friends with Martha Ray.
Bless you.
And Milton Berle thought I was a pretty attractive young man. That's it. So I've had encounters with Milton Berle where I had to get nasty sometimes, and I called him one time a very
Hang
ugly,
on though, in the Brady
ugly
Bunch,
old man.
the Brady Bunch Variety Hour, didn't that have Jerry Reichel played Jan Brady on that, right?
Right.
Yeah, we know
interview
her. We've interviewed her
we
a couple
like
of
her.
times.
She's a
She's
lot
fun.
of fun.
She's a lot
Um,
of fun, yeah.
You gotta
She's
love
nice.
it. I love it. Also, we should say, because since you were talking about your writing and stuff, besides writing books, I wrote little notes down that you wrote for 13 East for NBC, Totally Hidden
Right.
Video for Fox, and the new Canon camera for Universal.
Right. Yeah. I got that. That's how I got this house.
Terrific. Do you know Stan Zimmerman?
I don't.
Okay.
How come?
You should probably know Stan. You'd probably like him because he writes for like a lot of cool
you should
shows
go
and stuff
into
like
LA
that too.
next weekend and see the play he's got up. It's a good play. You'd enjoy it. It's about a Jewish guy marries a Christian girl, and they have twins, and it's a fight about should they circumcise the kids or not. And then the mother-in-law comes in, the Jewish mother. It's a very funny play.
What's it called?
It's called what the hell is it called?
Oh, hang on. They were on last
knife,
week.
A Knife to the Heart.
Yeah, Knife to the Heart.
Yeah, I
It's-
haven't heard of it.
Oh yeah, well we push it a lot. We saw it, we loved it.
Well, I never leave the house. If they could do a production here in my living room, that would be good.
Oh, I'll call Stan and ask. I'm sure he
I'm
will.
serious. I'm like a hermit. I never leave the house.
Well, what do you do in Bel Air? There's nobody up in Bel Air anymore. They're all dead.
Well, I bury them.
Yeah, I know you did, but really, seriously.
You know that you can do.
Wait. I don't have one friend in Bel Air anymore.
You do now, baby.
Yeah, I know, but when you come to Palm Springs, you're going to have to be social.
Well, when I go to Palm Springs, listen, people say, so we're going to Palm Springs. What restaurant should we go to? And I go, McDonald's? I don't know. I just stay very much to myself. I don't go. I suppose when I live there permanently that I will, people will invite me. But
Well, you'll be coming to our house because, as I said, we have always celebrity people, so we're comfortable. I have a problem
which
with people.
side of Sunset do you live on? Sunrise, I mean.
We live on Sunrise.
Really?
Yeah, we
And
live
what?
right Sunrise. I don't know, something
At the end.
at the end of Sunrise. I can't say. I don't want to say where we live.
Oh, yeah. All right.
But we live in a very
Because
beautiful
that's
gated.
Now, can I ask a question? Do the people who are listening and like in the chat room, do they ask questions?
Sometimes they do. Right
Sometimes.
now, they're all just talking about how pretty you are, and a bunch of people have been putting the links up to buy your book in different countries.
Right.
Oh,
And
God
we,
bless
we
you.
let them do that. We don't interrupt them when they
So
do
we
that.
let them all do it. Say hi to B. She's in Germany. She's like the greatest lady ever.
Hi,
So say
B.
hi. And my business partner, who's also a great writer, New York Times bestselling author, Eileen Shapiro, is in the chat room. She's saying, and everybody's talking about how funny you are, and
Right.
they love hearing
And-
you
and
guys
you know
banter
what?
back and
I'm
forth.
Eileen Shapiro will definitely do an interview with you that goes into Huffington Post and a bunch of publications.
You
Eileen,
gotta quit saying that because she's not doing Huffington Post right now.
she's not.
I
Oh.
was doing the Huffington Post, and I went to post something on it, and they had closed the account.
Yeah, they closed the contributor platform for everybody,
Maybe
but
they
she does
don't-
write for a lot of entertainment publications, though.
Anyway, Eileen.
Wait, give her my phone number.
No, we are. Eileen.
I'll hook you up.
Eileen, definitely interview this guy.
She says hi.
He's outrageous. You must interview him. You'll be in Get Out magazine in New York, the Gay Mag, all the publications. It's time to get your name out there because you're bigger than your name, and that's not good.
No, that's very true. And I talk about it in the book, in that I had a non-supportive mother. One, I did stand up for 35 years, never came to a single show. Told a friend that I just don't find him funny. And because of that, I never really believed in myself. And I didn't push the way I should have in certain areas.
That's
And
because she wanted you to be a doctor.
She was a narcissist, and she didn't want anyone who would be bigger than she was,
I
more
don't
famous than she was.
think so.
And I suffered from it, emotionally, my whole life. I talk about it in the book.
Don't you think
And
you might be
was it-
wrong?
What?
You could be wrong, Mothers don't do that. Mothers are proud of their sons, especially
Yes,
Jewish
most
mothers.
mothers are. My mother was not.
Was she in show business?
No, she was not. she hated show business and everything about it. So when she raised a son, what she actually said to a friend, I was married to his father. It was a horrible marriage. We couldn't even produce a normal son.
Oh, that's dreadful. You know, cancel that shit. Forget it.
I'm trying.
Yeah,
when I wrote the book, she came out to California, and in the car from the airport with my friend Eileen sitting in the back seat with her, my mother said, "I don't know why you wrote that book. Nobody cares about your life."
Well, I would have said to her, "How old are you again? I could wait."
Yeah, no, I basically said that to her.
Yeah, well, that's what I would have
She was upset
said.
with me because I didn't leave my house to her in my will. And I said to her, I swear to God. And I said to her, well, who do you think's going first? I don't care. I want that house.
She sounds like a winner. I'm sorry, but you're too nice for that.
So,
you
hold
know
on.
what? Sometimes kids that come from bad homes are the best people. They're the
Well,
nicest.
You know why? Do you know why, Ron? Because I know how it feels to hurt, to have something horrible to say. And so I go out of my way to be nice to people if they deserve it. You know, there's a couple of people who can drop dead in front of me and I'd step over their corpse.
Me too.
But I try, and they're like new comics that come into town and they ask me for help. And I listen to them. I listen to their act and I listen to them as a person. And there's one new kid that just came in that I'm really helping. You know, I got him into Fred Willard's sketch program.
Love Fred Willard.
Right.
And I got him an agent, and because he deserves it. Nobody helped me, and so I know what that feels like. So I try to help people when I can.
They want to know in the chat room, because now they're asking questions that you brought that up. So here's one. They want to know what happens if you're doing stand-up and nobody laughs.
Never happens.
Well,
never happened.
There's something that what happens to me personally. I mean, there has been times when I've gone out. Like one time, I did my very first show outside the Comedy Store. The very first show was at the Acatella Lodge. And when I went there, it was the Acatella Lodge, and everything around it was desert. There was nothing there. And I got on stage and I started talking to complete silence. And I thought I was going to die. Silence. Not even a murmur, just silence. Every joke, silence. And I got off stage and I went to my car and I was almost in tears. And the manager from the hotel came running after me and he said, Steve. I said, what? He said, they're all from Romania.
They don't understand English.
Nobody understands English.
Well, that's like
Actually, somebody, hang on, because somebody in the chat room in a foreign country just asked that. Like, do you find it different since different countries see things find funny things differently?
Well,
absolutely.
There's a woman in Japan who got my book and wrote me and told me how funny the book was. And I said to her, do you mean to tell me that you understood? She said, look, emotions are emotions. And whoops, I just dropped the phone. Emotions, earthquake! And she said, so I got it. And I laughed. And that was a big eye-opener to me. And there's people in Italy who've written me, frozen.
No,
you're not frozen on our side. We can see you.
But get your fingers off the lens.
There.
Nice manicure.
Oh, damn, I don't know what's
You
going on.
had your nails
No, you're
done.
okay. We can see you.
Get your hands. Oh, there he goes. He's
Oh,
screwing.
now
I can see you.
You flip.
Okay.
Yeah, but now
Oh
we
my
see
God,
your.
do you
We
guys
see.
have mirrors? Where
You have
did you
to
get those shirts? My God.
Well, they're Jimmy
Looks
Star
like curtains
shirts.
in a motorhome. What the hell is that?
This is Jimmy Star brand.
Hang
I'm
on, hit the
wearing.
button so we can see you, because now we're looking at your TV again.
I don't know how to do
Nice
this.
entertainment
fuck that
system.
thing.
Read from this one. She's got to get like some kind of book or something on how to work a phone.
I don't know how to do it.
A little button. There you go. That's going to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
there
am
you
I
go.
going to do with you when you live here and you don't even know where you're going, where you're driving, what you're doing?
Listen, let me tell you something. Everybody says to me, the mountains are west.
That's right.
and I say, right, the mountains are north.
No,
I
the mountains.
cannot find my way around that town.
No, but getting back to the audiences that don't laugh, I found when I had a Jewish or Italian audience, basically Brooklyn, New York, New Jersey, my audiences were wild. The further south I traveled with my show, the audiences got weaker. Then when I got to Florida, which used to be called Miami Beach in those days, the audiences got wild again. So it's definitely your material. My material was always ethnic.
Well, see, I find my audiences are Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, the Midwest, also the Southeast, New Mexico, Arizona, California, the West Coast. I never worked in New York City, strangely enough. I did plays and stuff, but I never did stand up there.
Oh, you missed out.
You would love, yeah. I think they would love you.
I worked
I
worked
don't
the
know
upstairs,
about that.
downstairs. I worked the duplex, the original duplex. At those days, Barbara Streisand was there, Joan Rivers was there. Everybody was at the I came
wrote
up
for
with
Joan. I wrote for Joan.
I loved her. I knew her.
You know, my most famous joke for Joan was,
Okay.
I took Elizabeth Taylor to McDonald's. She's so fat, she got stuck in the arch.
That's terrible.
Also, there's a lot of people in the chat room saying that they're happy that you pursued
All right,
your
but wait.
career. Hang on, pursued your career, even though all the stuff with your mother. And you got to say hi to Goddess because she's freaking out. She
Hi,
loves you.
Goddess.
There you go.
Now I'm going to ask you a personal question. You don't have to answer it.
Don't ask it.
Well, I'm going to ask you, are you gay?
I'm not going to answer.
We know you are, so you little devil. And we don't like people who are closeted anymore. Jimmy and I are the first married couple to be known that we're gay and that we're married on television. So we are definitely.
When you stood on the television?
Yeah, we stood on the television and got married. I was naked, he was doing me, and that's why the show was a hit. But anyway, so we really like it when people like you come out and say, yeah, I'm
There's
gay.
a lot of people from New York and New Jersey, though, in the chat room saying that they would love to see you there. So I think you would probably have
I'm going to New York to do Ike, what's Ike's last name?
Avelli.
Turner.
No, no, God forbid. I'm doing Ike Avelli's show at the Duplex. I wish you'd come to New York and you and I together up there banging off of each other would be a hilarious show.
I am not banging you. I'm telling you right now.
No, not banging me, banging off of each other. Like I say something, then you come back.
When are you doing it?
I think we are, because we're going on a tugboat cruise in New York.
Be still my heart.
They call them tugboat cruises. All these rock groups now are renting these little ships and they're having concerts on the river in New York. And Jimmy's running one. He's putting it together.
Actually, Eileen is.
Eileen is. Sorry, Eileen, and because she's in our chat room. So I'll get the date, but I think you'd love working that room. It's a fabulous room and fun.
They all say that. Uh-oh. Does that mean somebody's at your door?
Yes, exactly right.
We have the same thing.
We had the same problem, but our dog's like 100. One of them's 120 pounds, so he like dies. Do you need to go get your door?
No, there's somebody here that'll get it.
Okay.
I have help.
Of course
Somebody
you do.
said, how do you clean a big house like this? I said, like this. Maria!
Too, like if you never want to leave your house and you want to do stand-up, there's all kinds of live streaming platforms that you can get on and do.
Maybe you guys should manage me.
No, Jimmy
My
does.
manager only has me and an apartment building on Sepulveda.
Jimmy does that. Jimmy does the best publicity. If you need to be public, in other words, you need, as I said, you are bigger than your name, and you're bigger than you think you are because no one has.
That's for damn sure.
No, wait. Let me explain something.
Yeah.
I have attention deficit. And I can't hold my thinking. Like Jimmy said, like, well, what did that person say? I said, well, they were boring. They weren't interesting, so I tuned them out. I've done this all my life. I think stand-up comics do that because we tune the hecklers, in the audiences and stuff. So I listen to you nonstop, and I could have more of you, and I could listen to you for hours and have a good time and enjoy myself. And seriously, when you come to Palm Springs, I think you and I are going to be very good friends, or we're going to hate each other's guts.
I did a show at Oscars with Gypsy.
Oh, I love Gypsy's here. You know, she lives in Palm
I
Springs.
live and Roberta Lynn was the headliner, and
Look,
I
Roberta.
and it was supposed to be called Gypsy's Follies. So
Right.
I have to tell you this story. So one night, it's 120 out in Palm Springs. It was in the
Right.
summer. The air conditioning was off, and they lost the remote for the fans.
Oh,
So
gee.
the room was like a walk-in oven. So I did my 20 minutes, and I come off stage, and I said to Roberta, I said, listen, don't go all over. It's too hot. She's 83 or 84 years old. Don't go over. It's too hot. She says, okay. So she goes out, and she's supposed to do 3 songs. She does 6. At the end of the 6th song, she goes, I don't feel good, and keels over. So now the paramedics come, and they're doing this thing on her chest.
Right.
Gypsy comes over to me and he says, let's do the finale. I said, where? He said, on the floor in front of the paramedic. Yeah, sure. So
She's
we're
not
doing
bothered,
the finale
Gypsy. She's
in
a
front
wild
of
one.
the paramedics who are pumping Roberta.
Right.
And I turned to the audience. I said, this is the absolute low point of my career. I'm telling you right now. All right. So
Actually, it was hilarious.
2 weeks later, the middle singer, Vicky, she's out on stage. From this moment on, trips, falls, hits her head on the thing,
Oh, my God.
jumps up, you for me, with the blood dripping down her from the side of her face.
Well,
So they stopped the show. The paramedics come again. And I said to the guy, I said, listen, why don't you just stay here? I said, you're here every week anyways. We'll get you a table. Why go back to the firehouse? You know you're going to end up here.
right.
That was
I did benefits. I'm the founder of Have a Heart, which is the AIDS organization, and then I worked for AMPA with Elizabeth Taylor, and then I worked with Liz on Elizabeth Taylor Foundation for AIDS Research. So we did a show in Boca. It was at the Boca Big Beautiful nightclub, and
where
Tommy.
the people are so old that the
No.
Right
This was
before
this was a good 35 to 55 audience. And
Yeah.
Tommy Femia, who does Judy Garland live, is my good friend, and he was performing, and we had lines. And I had just finished doing my stand-up, and I did a song. And as I left, there were 3 steps going down to the wing, and my high heel got caught in my hem, and I tripped, and I fell, and I hurt my hip. Now, the microphone is still in my hand, and Tommy Femia said, Jane, get up. We have lines to do. I said, fuck you, lines, you stupid cunt. What are you out of your mind? My hip is killing me. And meanwhile, the audience is hearing all of that, and they gave it a standing ovation. They did. When Tommy went out there and I went out there, they stood up and they were clapping. They thought it was the funniest thing they had ever heard in their lives.
opening night of Barry Manilow. Listen to this. Opening night of Barry Manilow. It was his Vegas opening, and the entire world was there. The press from everywhere for Barry's opening. So I'm opening the show, and I'm on stage, and I have a bit about natural childbirth. And in the middle of the bit about natural childbirth, I hear somebody say, Steve, get a doctor. And I go to myself, oh, my God, not a heckler. Not tonight, please. Steve, get a doctor. We need a doctor. Oh, God, no. And I look down, and the woman in the front
In
is
labor.
having an epileptic fit.
Oh.
So I stop the show, and I say, ladies and gentlemen, is there a doctor in the house? Can we bring up the house lights? And they bring in the gurney, and people are standing up, and the gurney comes down the front, and they put the woman on the gurney, and the gurney goes out, and they close the door, and the house lights come down, and the spotlight comes up, and I go inside my head, I go, holy fuck, what do I do now? And so
How do you beat that?
I looked at the audience, and I said, I don't think it's appropriate to do comedy at this point. Why don't we take a few-minute break, and we'll wait for Mr. Manilow. I went backstage thinking that I had absolutely blown it and sat in my dressing room crying. And everybody rushed back and said, they loved it, the press. And Mike Douglas flew me out for an interview, and I had big write-ups, and great reviews. It was a very strange night, very strange.
Well,
As I
because
picked my ear.
of what you said, I don't think I should do comedy.
Why?
Well, that was considerate. You know, most comedians wouldn't have said that. They're selfish. You know,
Right.
comedy is a
You
selfish.
brought like a human element to it.
well,
Well, that's my problem. I'm too nice. That's why.
you weren't nice. You were right. Because
Well-
a stand-up comic has nothing but him. There's no scenery. There's no line. There's nothing. There's nothing at all. When you're out there, you're it. You're the whole number.
Mhm.
You control. I had 350 people for sit-down dinner at the Musicana Supper Club in Boca one night, and I went out there and I knew I had to control. So a couple got up and walked out, and as they were leaving, I said, "Oh, you have to go to the bathroom or whatever," and they got embarrassed. I said, "Oh, am I embarrassing you?" I said, "The lady, she seems to be limping. You have one leg shorter than the other? Oh, that's why you limp?"
Uh-oh, we lost him.
Oh, shit.
Hey, Chad.
Yeah, it disappeared on me too.
Oh, okay. Hey, everybody, we just lost him.
Here he comes. He's coming back. He's coming back.
Back.
He had to go to the bathroom, and so
Right.
you can
That
say
was
it
quick.
to him now.
Well, I have one
Anyway.
leg that's shorter than the other, and I was
No,
so
but
insulted
anyway,
I just left.
It went on because they were very rude. Because the lady, as she was leaving, said, "You have a toilet mouth, a potty mouth." That's what she said, very nastily. And we're leaving because you have a potty mouth. So I really wanted to say, "Go fuck yourself," you know. But I wouldn't get that crude. But another time, I had a heckler in the front. Was a blonde. She had been drinking a lot, and she was making comments. So the first time I ever did it, and the last, I went down off my stage, down into the table, and I looked at her. I said, "You know, I used to be blonde once like you. Matter of fact, my hair looked like you. It was broken and frizzy, but then I dyed it back." And I back up on the stage. Well, she never said another word. She just sat there with her mouth over. She was shocked. But sometimes.
The very first job I had out of Los Angeles was at a club called Earthquake Magoons in Phoenix, Arizona, and the stage was about 6 feet off the ground, and I got to the mic, and suddenly there's a man standing in front of me, and the stage comes up to his chest, and I'm going, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen." He's going, "Psst. Good evening. I just want to, psst. Good evening. Psst. What do you want?" And it was the owner of the club, and he whispers at me, "Don't say fuck." And I go like this. I go, "Okay."
How can you do
And
that?
I walk back to the microphone and I say, "That was the owner of the establishment here. He doesn't want me to say fuck." Why the fuck would he think that I would say fuck in a fucking club like this? This
Right.
fucking asshole thinks that I'm going to say fuck in his... Well, the place went berserk.
Well, we were working out at the Treehouse out on Long Island, and it was a pretty conservative.
Long Island.
Yeah,
Long-
wait. The guy was a pretty conservative, whatever. And I sing Body and Soul, and the lyric is, "My heart is sad and lonely. I think of you only. Why don't you call me, Body and Soul?" And I was doing that.
That's a
song.
Lenny Kazan song, by the
Well,
way.
no, it was Jane Russell's also, and I impersonated Jane Russell. So I've been singing that song so goddamn many times. I don't need to rehearse it, but they wanted me to rehearse it.
Mhm.
Sang this lyric: "My twat is hot and foamy. I need a great big hot Italian bologna." And the owner heard that, and they fired us because they thought that's what we're going to do that night.
Well, did you ever hear the song, Everybody's fucking but me?
I love that one. Rusty, something about a rusty box. Yeah.
All right. That song was recorded in Sparks, Nevada by, and I was at the recording. It was Andy Williams' backup singer, and they kept the band late one night. Andy didn't know anything about it, but the musical arranger, the musical conductor, had written the song, and he arranged for the band to stay late, and they did it in one take, and I was sitting in the audience when it was done that night.
Well, that song has been in a lot of gay shows. In fact, Michael Gray used to use that in one of his shows. Michael Gray, the drag queen, not the other Michael Gray. But, you know,
Either one.
like, luckily I was
Either one.
Right. Luckily, I was from Brooklyn, and Gypsy can contest to this, and Daisy D and all the old great drag queens of the 1950s. You'd work a club and you made sure you got paid before you went on, because the mafia ran all the clubs. You know, the Italian mafia ran all the clubs. And sometimes if you went on and they didn't like you, they didn't pay you, they used to throw you in the alley and smack you around a little. So you had to always beware. I was lucky. Where I came from, Red Hook was where they originated all the old mafias. They all started. Across the street from where we lived, there was an Italian grocery store, painted windows, where they all met. And they knew me as a little kid, and as I grew up, I knew all their kids. So I was lucky, and I'd go to work, and I'd say, listen, I'm getting paid now, or I call so-and-so. How the fuck do you know so-and-so? I said, he's my father, which he wasn't. But they'd say, your father, he's got a faggot for a son? I said, yes. Now pay me. So that's how you had to get paid. It was rough working in Brooklyn.
So exactly how long is this show?
No, normally
As long as we want you. You want to leave? Go. I don't give a shit.
I don't know, but you know.
Honestly,
No, let me answer this question. If you were a bore, you would have been
we'd
gone.
have gone long, an
You'd have
hour
been
and a half,
gone.
40 minutes
You'd
ago.
have been gone ages ago. If a person
normally it's 25 to 30 minutes.
But lucky for you, we didn't have two guests today, so we're overlapping.
Yeah,
so we're just
a famous person and me.
I actually did. I had you a famous person, and I had another really famous person who couldn't figure out Skype. So I was like, you can't come on.
We're not going to mention. No, we can't say.
I can't say who it is because it's not nice to
he's
say
80
that.
years old. He's a television star
And movie star.
He's been
From the
in
50s and 60s.
I mean, you would know him in a minute. He's very famous.
But he can't. Yeah, I don't want to.
But he's 80 years old.
He couldn't figure
Skype
out.
Figure it out. So we're giving you that time, but you're interesting and funny, and I don't even want you to go. When you moving?
Listen, I have nothing to do. Trust me.
I
Just
see
sell
that.
my book,
Well,
Memoir of a Nobody.
We'll bring it up again.
When are you moving to Palm Springs?
Well, I'm selling my house. I have to wait for this house to sell. It's a lovely house, and if I have any interested people, 1.8 million, come, it's yours. I'll throw in some furniture.
How many square feet?
It's 2,400 square feet.
And you're going to get 1.8 million? Mazel tov.
The house next door to me is 650 square feet. Just sold last week for $780,000 in 4 days.
It's outrageous. Well, listen to me. You want to get a deal? I'll tell you where to go looking.
I've already found a house. I'm
Where?
just waiting for this.
What part of Palm Springs?
It's in the Colony.
Oh, we have friends in the Colony. Love the Colony.
Beautiful there.
That's the one with the big door, right? With the big door to get in.
Marilyn Monroe's house that Joe DiMaggio owned?
No. It's
Street from Cary Grant's house?
No, in order to get into the complex, it has these huge gates that look like a Spanish fort.
I know where you are. Yeah. That's really
Beautiful.
That's really not. No, that's not really the movie Colony. The old movie.
He didn't
Colony.
say the movie Colony. He said the Colony.
Oh, the Colony. I heard movie Colony. See, when you get older.
It's senile.
Well,
Yes.
no, the movie Colony. Cary Grant's house is up for sale for $3.2 million.
No, it's not up for sale anymore.
Oh,
Somebody
no?
bought it for
Somebody bought it for $3.2 million, and what a gorgeous home. I wanted it. I told Jimmy to buy it for me.
Well, when I first got to Palm Springs, I couldn't find my way around because I'd say, how do you get to Costco? And they'd say, well, you go down, you go over to Bob Hope, and you go down on Dinah Shore. I said, look, I'm not going down on Dinah Shore. I don't care how much toilet paper I need.
Right. Well, you know what they nicknamed Dinah Shore?
What?
Vagina Sores.
Oh, that's terrible.
Well,
I
that's
opened for her. She was a lovely lady.
I knew her when she was out with Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, me too.
I was at her home in Palm Springs. She had the most beautiful slip covers. I'll never forget them. White and blue, big flowers. I loved her slip covers. Burt Reynolds was a friend of mine because of Lee Winkler, who was the head of global.
Right.
You know, Lee Winkler.
I know the name.
Dearest and closest and best friend till he died for 40, 50 years.
So hang on, go back. Okay, so because you guys are talking about hecklers and things, and I read someplace online, and I don't know if it was your website or if it was just like when I Googled your name to see what kind of shit comes up about you, so I would like find cool and interesting things.
What
but
kind of shit comes up about you? What a quaint way of saying it.
So I wanted to find out what comes up, and basically it says like you're very funny and you don't want to sit in the front rows of your shows because you pick on everybody in the front row.
Right, exactly.
Well, I think you're very rude because you haven't offered Jimmy and I a cocktail or a cup of coffee or anything, and we're here bullshitting for hours. I mean, what's wrong with you? You're not going to offer us something?
Listen, I can't cook.
I figured that.
I can't cook. I need a recipe book to make a sandwich. It's not fun.
Do you have a lady at the house that you just scream out her name and she cooks for you too? That's awesome.
My very dear friend in Boca, and she's from the Bronx, and she's a Bronx Jew, and you can't get any wilder than a Bronx Jew. They are like outrageous. She said to everybody, I'm having my kitchen made into a dressing room, makeup room. And I told my husband, I'm going to save you money because it already has a sink for when they wash my hair.
Oh, that's funny. You know, Marilyn Michaels has a new book out, and it's called the battery on my phone is going down.
That's okay. If we lose you, we'll know that you're gone.
Don't you have a plug-in?
Well, I have.
He's near his router.
Phone. So, the plug-in is downstairs, and
you're just so equipped today. I'm going to kill you.
Actually, this is
100% when we started. How long have we been talking?
Ever.
An hour and 10 minutes.
Well,
Stop.
honey,
Really?
listen, we're not even Yentas. We're more like Yaknas, super Yentas. I mean, I love you. I don't want you to go away. Stay here.
Well, I'll come back.
You bet your buns you're coming back.
Jimmy,
Yes.
will you make sure you email me your address? Do you have my private email?
Yeah, I think so, because I think you emailed me saying I can't get this fucking Skype to work.
And Steve,
Why?
listen. I'm having I shouldn't do this on the
No,
air.
don't do it on the air.
I'll private message you.
I'll
but
send him an email.
I'm having a big party for a very good friend of mine who's got a wonderful show running all over the country called 50-ish.
Happy 50-ish.
Happy 50-ish. And
What date is the party?
What date?
It's going to be in June.
I think it's June 5th, the first Saturday night in June.
I'm going to be in Palm Springs.
Coordinate the fruits.
All right, I don't want to give my dates, but I'll tell you. We'll talk later.
Yeah,
We'll
just talk
We'll
later.
message.
No,
group
It's much
chat.
better.
I love to take questions from people in the audience. So are there any?
We don't do that. That's something we don't want to
I
start.
only bring it up once in a while because I don't want to do too many.
don't
I
wanna
think you're going to get
start
because B. Claudia's like been giving you links all over the place for people to
but
go buy
we
your
don't want to
book.
start that Q&A thing with our guests. As I said, this is not...
Normally, we only have guests on for 25 minutes, so we don't have time
But
for
Steve,
it.
I love Steve. Steve is my new best friend. If he doesn't want to be my friend, I'm calling everybody in Brooklyn. He's dead.
So hold on, let's give
We'll
him.
have him killed.
I'd love to be your new best friend.
You are my new
Let's
best
give him.
friend.
Let's give him
You
another
know
plug.
what? Wait a second. Let me say something. You know, like they say, what do you do in Palm Springs between yawns? And it's true. I mean, I have such nice friends here, but they don't. I like campy people. I was raised my life. I grew up with Frankie Montfort, the fabulous, crazy.
Okay,
bastard.
let's go, Coach.
All these people were funny with the dishy queens, the queens that were fast. I love that. I love people like you. I could be with people like you, 100.
There aren't that many people like him. That's what
No,
makes
but
him so
you
unique.
know how you pull teeth with some people? You sit with them in their living room and you want to die. You say, I should be home in bed eating Malamars and milk and watching a Betty Davis.
Right.
And there you are pulling teeth and silently you're saying, oh, shut the fuck up. I couldn't care less. Another word out of you, I'm going to explode.
No, actually, I'm going to send an email to you and introduce you to Eileen Shapiro too, because she said she'll do an interview and we'll promote the book and we'll get it put out all over the place.
He's so funny, you cannot do an interview. Do you have a partner?
Eileen, what's her last name?
Shapiro. Irish.
Shapiro.
Another Irishman.
I went to high school with Eileen Shapiro.
Well, this is not the same one.
This is a different one. So
she's from Long Island.
Long Island.
You
know, my uncle, who I hate, truly hate, opened Adventureland 110 in Farmingdale.
That was years ago.
Yeah. I actually held the tape as he marked off the circle for the train. I was holding that's my claim to fame.
So hold on.
I spent a lot of time in Long Island. Plainview, Woodbury, Farmingdale, that whole area.
Well, I lived in Garden City and Setauket for a lot of years. I raised my children there. Huh?
Secaucus.
No, not Secaucus. Setauket.
Oh,
Was it different?
Setaucus.
No, Setauket. E.T.
Setauket.
There you go.
Those were the names of the Indians.
All right, so
He
here,
squeezes me to do something.
real
What do
quick,
want
you
me to
guys,
do?
because we got to go, because I want Eileen to call in for 2 seconds, and his
Oh.
phone's dying, and I don't
Well,
want to
how
miss.
much time
I want
do
to
we
get
have left?
15 minutes. So everybody, listen up.
Oh,
Follow Steve on Twitter at
Steve.
Steve Bluestein, Bluestein. His website is www.stevebluestein.net. The new book is called Memoir of a Nobody. Get it now on Amazon around the world, everywhere. We'll definitely have you back, and I'll shoot you an email after the show.
And you know
All right,
what,
great.
Steve?
It was great
Steve,
talking with you guys.
Listen, Steve, if you come to our house, I'll cook especially for you. I'll just have us and maybe one other person around, all right? Because I really
right.
like you. I want
All
to
right,
get to
that'll
know.
be good.
I'm not lying, everybody out there. We're going to be the best of friends. That's how I met Eileen Shapiro. She came on our show. We fell in love, and now we're the best buddies in the world.
Oh, that's great.
Like,
That's
you
the
are
best
one
way to make friends.
Funny guy with
Yes.
a great heart. You're a
And
terrific.
congratulations on the book.
And I think the book is, everybody, if you don't buy this book, you're out of your fucking minds, because this book is going to be so funny. The guy is hilarious. I mean,
Thank
and
you.
I don't say that about many people. Trust
Oh,
me.
Steve, thank you so much.
Steve,
Thanks for having me on. I really had a great time.
and thank
you.
you for
Huh.
brightening my day, because I had a miserable start of my day. My hair is a mess. It's so fucking long. I look like Joan Rivers.
I'm going to
you know.
get a haircut tomorrow. I didn't want to get it today because I didn't know how I'd look. So I
You look fab.
I was supposed to get a haircut yesterday, but I'm going to get it tomorrow.
This is fascinating. You know, this is a fascinating conversation.
Yes, all right, so we're
So
off.
this is why we're number one, because we're an interesting show. We talk about everything.
We talk about everything.
Everything.
Everything's all.
All right, Steve, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye,
Bye.
sweetie. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
He is fabulous.
He is very cool. All right, everybody, so listen up. Let's do some quick commercials. You can hear the Jimmy Star Show on W4C Rye Radio every Wednesday, 12 to 2 Pacific Time, 3 to 5 Eastern Time, with the fabulous Chad Murphy.
Well, thank you.
You can hear us on K4HD Radio in L.A., Hamilton Radio in New Jersey, Monster FM Radio in New York, Jackalope Radio in St. Louis, Caliber Radio in South Carolina, Society's Basement Radio. We're also on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iTunes, Audio Boom, Apple TV Speaker, Podbean, and on TV you can see us on Vimeo, YouTube, and Roku. I think call in real quick.
Amazing how we...
Wasn't he fun?
Well, he's like a New York Jew. Come on, give me a break. My favorite people in the world are New Yorkers. That's why when they say things about New York people, I get upset. We are funny. We are warm. We are friendly. We have hospitality. You come to our home. We cook. We give. We do. It's a wonderful people, New Yorkers.
Everybody's loving it, too. Everybody in the show loves it. Patricia,
Well, now,
Pat,
now
Pat
you know what it's
loves
like
it.
when we get together in private. Our show brings to you what we do in private, and that's why you love it so much, because all of you out there feel today like you were in our kitchen talking with Steve. He's a funny guy. He's and open and honest and genuine. I really can't wait to become a good friend of his. I really mean that.
I'm really glad that it went well.
Oh, we're going to bring him back on. I mean, he was really funny.
You got to, love it. I don't know if Eileen's even listening anymore.
And his book is funny.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be very, very funny.
Eileen would have to still be in.
I don't know if she's still there or not, because I told her I didn't know if we were going to be able to get her. Now there she is. Okay. Move.
Where is she?
She's calling on a group.
Oh, is that bad?
That's a bad thing. Please stand by.
Hey, Chad.
Hey, Jimmy.
Just now.
What's that?
What happened just
I
now?
don't know. You did something, and then you went away.
Oh, so but now Eileen's gone.
Yeah. So don't do
Okay.
a thing. 'cause
What did you touch?
Okay, call her back.
She
I
call-
didn't. I had to. We lost Chad. He had to call us back. Chad, see if you can get Eileen.
Don't touch that button.
Okay, I won't touch the button.
Thank you.
Here she's coming in now.
No, she's not there yet, but we're working on it.
I really wish Skype would improve. You know, with all the money they make off for people, the billions.
It's free.
No, they make money. We pay for it in our service.
Well, Chad,
every
it's
month.
asking me to answer, though. Am I supposed to answer?
Because she's calling on a group. Eileen, stop calling on a group.
Hang on. Okay, hold on. I'll tell her. Hang on.
Oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh girl, oh girl, oh boy.
And hang up on her on that red button.
Okay. Hang on.
Thank you.
Call her, Chad.
Roger.
Okay. I'm sending her a text message. Okay. I sent her a text message, everybody. Live from the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell on W4CY. We're getting ready to call
Where
her.
we always have screw-ups.
Oh, because that's the last time she was on. She was in a group call, probably, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, are you able to find her or no?
We wait. As we wait,
trying.
we wait.
Say it again, Chad.
Said, I am trying. Eileen, are you there?
Okay, there she is.
That's her.
Hey, you were calling us on a group call from a previous chat, and it doesn't work.
There she is.
So when I answered, we lost the radio station.
Now, are you okay from the tornado and the hurricane?
You know what happened? I was driving yesterday. My windshield wiper just blew off. It was fabulous.
Oh, that's not fabulous.
That's not fabulous.
dangerous.
That's terrible.
I told everybody that, your bosoms hold you to the ground, that I wasn't worried that you were going to blow away.
Protection.
No, I was good. I swear to God.
You just hung those
Say hi to
babies
Chad.
out.
Say hi to Chad.
Hi, Chad. Chad, I love you.
I love
And
you,
should
Eileen.
You should really let me interview you.
Thank you for saving all those lives the other day with the tornado.
When that family that hid under your breast for protection when the building fell on you.
Yes, ma'am.
And also say hi to everybody in the chat room since you were in there. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Aaron. I know Hannah left, but hi anyway. B, I love you more than life itself. Patricia,
Pat.
I totally love you. Who else is in there right now?
Goddess.
Goddess.
Goddess. Oh, my God.
Goddess is getting married.
Is she really?
Yeah,
Goddess is getting married for real?
She really is.
They're all saying you're looking great.
Yeah. No, I told Eileen, the more pink she puts in her hair, the better she looks.
Wait,
the
Aaron's
blue-
still there? Hi, Aaron.
I don't know if
Aaron's
he's there or not. He was here.
Who?
All right. Who? Dave, everybody. Hi.
Yeah. There you go. You look great.
Thank you. So do you. And I miss you.
Miss you too.
I miss you. When are
And
you
I
gonna,
talk every day, but I still miss you.
when are you gonna come out?
I'm going to come out as soon as Sam comes out. How's that? We'll come out together.
There you go.
I mean, you go to England to see him at the drop of a hat. Me? Fuck him.
But I love him. He's my honey. I love you too, but
I thought I was your honey.
you are my honey.
Well,
Everybody's saying they love the smile. So, first of all, I have to say something to everybody. Now that we have Eileen on the phone, I want to thank everybody who voted for me for the Nashville Universe Music Awards Publicist of the Year, and I appreciate it, but the only reason I'm Publicist of the Year is because I have a great team. Eileen and I are partners in World Star PR, and like all the great publicity stuff I do is half in part because she does half of the work and I do half the work. So it was really an award for both of us. They didn't nominate her because I don't know why, but like I got nominated, but it was really an award for both of us. So I just want everybody to know that. That way 4 million people know that I didn't do that on my own.
And I want to thank everybody for voting for me for face fabulous, personality perfect, body beautiful.
Congratulations,
Thank you so
Ron.
much.
Congratulations.
Jimmy's way smarter than I am.
That's not so.
Like I'm totally challenged. I'm technically challenged, and Jimmy is so smart. And if it wasn't for Jimmy, we wouldn't have anything.
That's not true.
Not so.
We're
That's
equal.
not-
But anyway, I wanted everybody to hear it from me with her on the phone, her on the show. That way
Right.
everybody loves it. Everybody say they loved your hair. And
Aw.
in life, you meet certain people that you really do love and you really remember them. And Eileen is one of them. I can count on two hands, baby, all the people that I truly love. A lot of them betrayed me, and a lot of them, the more famous I became, the less friendly they became, which is sad. You know who I'm talking about, that bitch from Long Island. I won't
Ron,
use
I
her-
love you.
I won't use her name, but we've been friends since she's 16 years old, and I was like 23 or something. and she turned out to be just one piece of work. And anyway, you know what that's all about when you get japped.
You know
But-
what, though, Ron? You're a really good person.
I think
And
so.
I know that you're a really good person deep inside and inside, outside, and all around.
Harmless. I just have a big mouth, but I'm harmless. Really.
But you always have the best intentions.
Yeah, I just
Yes,
said
I agree.
you know what it is? I shortcut it. Like, why say to somebody, you're not behaving, now come into my house and behave? I say, knock it off, you fuck. You know, so it sounds crude and tough, but I abbreviate.
How did you like our last guest? He was fun, right?
Oh,
I
wasn't he?
fucking loved him.
I love him more than you do. He's my new best friend. Oh, I'm going to have him.
Oh, my God. He's so funny.
Yeah, he's
Nice.
funny.
He's adorable, and he's just so like never she. I don't know what he is, but he's my new best friend, and I will have him to the house alone, maybe with one other person.
We'll
Oh,
have
I
him come to that when Eileen comes.
No, but I also have somebody I want him to meet.
Yeah,
So,
but I don't want to meet him like that, but I want to meet him.
Oh, you meet him? No. If he's no, I don't mean you. I have a guy. But if you
Oh,
want
no,
to,
I know.
when he's living in Palm Springs, he's definitely going to be a friend of ours.
I
Definitely.
like you gotta
Well,
love
I
it.
thought it was great. Really great.
I mean, I
Amazing.
like his honesty and his openness and the way he discusses personal matters. I find that very much like who we are, you, me, and Jimmy. Well, Jimmy not so much. He's a little waspy, snobby about it. Like, don't forget, he was indoctrinated by those wasps. Everybody, a wasp is a white glove Protestant.
One Anglo-Saxon
Whatever
Protestant.
the fuck they are.
White glove.
I like that white glove. Added right in there, Jimmy.
I don't know. What do I know about these things?
So also
So-
tell Ron that we're not going on a barge cruise
It's a
because
tugboat.
he's telling everybody we're going on a barge cruise.
No, I said a tugboat.
No, it's not. It happens to be a ferry boat, not a ferry boat like on Fire Island, but a ferry boat.
Ferry boat.
And we're gonna have. Listen, we're gonna have the Membranes play. We're gonna have Mr. Sam Stevens in there. Revolution, American High. We're gonna have like the best of the best play there. Okay, maybe you should be the host. Yes,
Yeah, I'll MC it.
yes.
I'll do it
I
with great
love
you.
that idea.
You are.
I think it's going to be July 13th. I'm just waiting on the Membranes.
I
to
have
get-
my opening already. Millions of dollars were given to Elizabeth Taylor when she sailed down the Nile to go to Rome. And here I am on this rat-infested fucking barge that's about to sink in the East River and kill us all.
I love it. Remember, write that down, Ron, because I know you're going to forget it.
No, I won't forget.
Write it
I'll
down.
open with that.
So
That
you
should-
guys,
that
we're
should
going to be
the
doing this
opening.
really cool thing, and maybe July 13th. We're going to let you know, believe me, because we're going to be
And you can
advertising
get
it all over the place.
tickets
And all you guys
come.
will be able to get tickets to go.
Now, Eileen, we're poor, so we have to stay at your house on Long Island.
Okay.
That's a deal. And we'll
Not have it any other way. We can have a pajama party, Ron.
I love that. Except I don't wear pajamas. I just wear a T-shirt and nothing else.
I just wear panties and nothing else.
So it's going to turn into a sex orgy. I'm so excited.
We want Aaron to come. Not for the
Aaron
sex.
can come. Sam will be there too, and yeah, we will have a blast.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Good. And then what was it? Oh, yeah, the ticket. You know, JetBlue flies directly now from Palm Springs to New York City.
Perfect.
So-
As soon as we know the date for sure, we'll get tickets.
And I think in July, the tickets are probably going to be like maybe $285 a person
should
round
come.
trip.
You guys should come for Pride too. We're going to perform out on the street.
When
Sam
is
Revolution.
Pride?
FM.
When is Pride?
That's in
New
June.
York Pride is June 24th.
Yeah, we can't come to both.
We're having Ian Ford DJ, and everyone's performing at his underground caffeine cafe. So it's going to be really cool.
And I could get more
gotta, like, love it.
sunglasses from the insurance company.
I
State
swear,
Farm
even if you're not there, I'm going to get you some.
Yeah, get
You-
those glasses. We love those.
We love them.
Jimmy had to go and beg for those. Remember, Jimmy?
Yeah, but you know
Yeah.
what? I'm not kidding. Some stuck-up queen said to me, "Whose glasses are those? State Farm? What is State Farm?" I said, "It's an insurance company." She said, "And you wear them?" I said, "Honey, they gave millions of dollars to gay pride. What's wrong with you? You know, you stupid bitch. Go buy your Versace junky plastic crap that break for $300. You moron." Like that makes you
Totally
something
that.
because you have Versace sunglasses on. You're somebody I should give a shit about.
No,
I-
but the thing was, there was only one pair left, and Jimmy and I really wanted one.
I
and we
know.
sacrificed for you
Oh.
because we knew that you would love it.
I had 3 already. I had swiped from the counter.
No, we got them from someplace. I swiped. No, I swiped
I
those from
swiped
someplace
too.
else.
I swiped too. I
Jimmy
walked
and I-
over. I walked over to the guy.
Trying to find them.
I think that we're gonna try and make some that say the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell on them.
Too much to
You
write.
should. I want one right away.
No, we're going to do this. Everybody wants us to manufacture these cups, my orange cup, and have on it Ron Russell and maybe with Jimmy Star.
That's what we should do it. Ron Russell, and then on the bottom, maybe with Jimmy Star.
Maybe with Jimmy Star. But anyway, yeah, I can't wait to come back to New York in the summer because I want to go out to that restaurant that we like in the Hamptons. We'll go with you where the hamburgers are like $100 each, but they're wonderful.
Oh,
And
in Waynscott, over by the swamp?
No, in
Sag Harbor.
Fag Harbor.
Oh, I know it. That's a
It's
great
very good.
I love it, whatever it's called.
They have
And
great milkshakes.
And the milkshakes, oh my God, nowhere on the planet are there chocolate milkshakes like that. What is the name of that place?
I totally know it.
It's a long restaurant. It's a hamburgery. You could get all
It's like
kinds.
18 or something. Or,
Yeah, very
I don't know.
expensive, but so worth
I know.
it.
The hamburgers were $18. I remember that.
But so worth it.
You gotta love it. So let's do some plugs, everybody, since we got Eileen on the phone
Yes.
and we only have like 4
All right,
minutes.
let me start with. I keep hearing you talk about this Sam. Who is this Sam person?
The love of my life. And
Oh, really?
be the
Tell
love
us.
of American Hazel.
Tell us about it. Tell us all about.
Tell us about his 2 singles that are available now, and the third one that'll be coming out in about 30 days.
Okay, all right. The first one is Don't Cry, and the video just came out, and it's amazing. And the second one is My Kind of Crazy, which is the most fabulous song that has ever been written. And if you listen to it, you're just going to die. It's on all the platforms, all the
digital download platforms.
on Apple, all of them, Spotify,
Google
Get it from
Play,
Spotify,
everywhere.
Google Play, Apple, everything, ROKU, everything in the world. And then he's coming out with 2 new ones, and one is a real James Bond one called Grand Illusion, and it's going to be magnificent. And the other one he actually co-wrote with a very good friend of mine, Mike Greenlee, and who co-wrote it with someone named Paul Gazone. Okay, and it's called In Whatever Time We Have, and it's just he did it live in England, and the whole audience was singing along, and it wasn't like there were like 30 people in the audience. The place was filled, packed. There were punk bands there that were listening to him. There was the gayest DJ in the world, DJ Jason Prince, who's also a singer. He was there. I mean, we had like super media, and it was crazy. It was just a little bar, but it was like packed. Oh, Hannah Clive was there. Hannah was there with her.
Hannah Clive from our chat room.
Yeah.
Hannah?
Yes.
Yes. With her.
Hannah, banana, Hannah.
Everyone was singing along, and he was a total rock star. I was like so proud of him. Total rock star. He played guitar and everything. He was amazing. You know, like I've seen him in person, but this was like extra special.
Now tell me, if you were not in love with Sam, how would you rate him if you were not in love with him?
Even if I hated him, I would have to say that he was probably one of the best shows I've ever seen. Probably My Kind of Crazy is one of the best songs I've ever heard, and that's even if I hated him.
And when he was up on stage performing, did you throw your bra or panties at the stage?
No, because I was at the side fucking up his music. But otherwise than that, yes, I would have.
And your hotel key.
The whole audience was singing along, and they were all like taking off their. Well, they weren't taking off their shirts, but they were thinking about it. I saw it in their eyes. They were absolutely thinking about it.
We're talking about a song
woman
that
in
nobody
love.
knows. So listen up, you guys, because we got 1 minute. First of all, you guys follow Eileen on Twitter. She's at Eileen Shapiro with the number 3 after it. You can follow Ron on Twitter. He's at Ron Russell Show. I'm at Dr. Jimmy Star. The show is at Jimmy Star Show. And follow our fan account that's run by Pat, and it is at Jimmy_Ron_fans. And the radio station, you guys, W4CY. Follow at W4CY Radio. Chad, you're not on Twitter yet, right?
No, sir.
Follow at B Claudie at B Claudie59. She's in the chat room. I don't know who else is. Hannah Clive is at Hannah Clive. Pat is at Cody Fans. I don't know. It's so funny because I don't even remember people's names. I only know their Twitter handles. But we want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Everybody in the chat room, because we got to go. It's 4:50. Chad's gonna cut us off. Okay.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Hi. Thanks, Eileen. Chad, thank you so much. Everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. We want to thank our guest, Steve Bluestein. We had a great show, you
Fabulous
guys.
comedian.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
You can't trust me, big up the girls inside the party. Let's get down to crazy Jimmy. Big up myself and known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC.
Always love the clothes of Jimmy.
Bitch, I'm your one I wanna be. Jimmy Star, new celebrity.
We'll take you out to Jimmy Stars. He'll dress you right. You'll feel like a star. We'll hook you up. Now you look sexy. Your game is tight. Gonna get laid tonight. You need Jimmy Star. Jimmy Star. You need Jimmy Star. Jimmy Star.
One day I was walking down the street. My mate come up to me and said, "Hey mate, wanna go to a party?